Hi friends, welcome back to Sheena's Homestead. If you're new here, I'm Sheena and this is my homestead. Today we are back in the kitchen. We had a really good run of being outside in the garden and I loved shooting those episodes for you. Don't worry, we still have more happening in our winter garden, but there's just not enough content to completely shoot outside anymore. So we are back in the kitchen and I am so excited. It is definitely fall around here. It's raining right now. It's a little chilly. It does make me a little sad, but you know what? We got to embrace this season we are in, literally, and just enjoy it. So today for dinner, I am making Marry Me Chicken. It has a really cute name and it is also extremely delicious. This recipe went viral a couple years ago and it took me a long time to even try it. I thought it was just one of those things, you know, people caught on to and lasted a little while, and I never set out to try it until now, and oh my goodness, let me tell you, it is at the top of our list and it has been requested over and over by my family. So we are eating it quite frequently now and I want to show you how to make it. There is a really cute backstory to this recipe. Ina Garden, she was on the Food Network channel, made this recipe for her husband Jeffrey the night that he asked her to marry him. So she dubbed it Marry Me Chicken. And let me tell you, if you can make this and you're trying to woo somebody, it might just give you the leg up that you need. So come along with me today and let me show you how to make this delicious chicken dish. Okay, so let's start off. I'll just let you know some of the things that are in this dish. Of course, we have our chicken breast. I got this one from Aldi. It is sliced thin. That is something that is important for this recipe. Otherwise, you will be standing in front of your stove for quite some time. It takes a long time to cook through thick chicken, and because we're only cooking it on the stove, you want to make sure that it is nice and thin. So if you have regular chicken breast, that is completely okay. Just make sure that you cut it down so that you are only about an inch thick. That should help you tremendously. And we are going to put our chicken in some flour, do a little dredge. So you want to make sure you have at least a cup of flour. I've got an onion pre-cut and ready to go in our final sauce making. Also, make sure to have sun-dried tomatoes on hand. They really take this recipe to the next level. And then we have our basics: oregano, parsley, and basil. If you just have an Italian dry blend, you can use that. Garlic powder, onion salt, and then a little bit of salt and pepper. And also, you're gonna need heavy whipping cream. I actually don't have heavy whipping cream today. I am all out in the stores nearby, I have none. So I am waiting on that to come in, but in the meantime, I am going to use half and half cream. I'm just gonna make sure that I let it reduce long enough. Okay, so first things first, we're gonna get started with our chicken. I'm going to turn on our skillet. I'm going to put it on high heat. Just let it heat up while we get this started. Actually, I'm going to need a plate to put these on. There we go. So I'm going to just take a sprinkle of my salt and pepper, mix that in with my flour, just like that. And we are going to take our thin pieces of chicken and just coat them front and back. And then we'll cook these in batches. But to get started, I'm just going to go through and make sure all of them are coated. I want to make sure the sides, every part, have a little bit of flour on them. I have some little pieces here too. I've got a little guy who likes it cut up this way, so I figured instead of cutting it at the end and losing some of the delicious crust, that I would just make it smaller for him from the start. this flour helps all of the yummy sauce that we are going to create with tons of flavor stick to our chicken breast. You'll see in the end, it's just a beautiful process. Okay, we're all set. Come over to the stove with me. We have our pan here. We are just going to coat the bottom with olive oil and about a tablespoon of butter. And you guys know that I love my wood spatulas here. So we're gonna let that melt just a bit. And then we are gonna add our chicken. You want to add your chicken in a single layer. And I'm going to put just a couple of these smaller pieces right in the middle there. And we're going to let that brown up on one side for a couple minutes, and then we're going to flip and let it brown on the other side. So while this side is browning, I'm going to add our flavorings right to the top here. About a teaspoon of garlic, about a teaspoon of parsley, bit of onion salt. And if you like a little bit of heat, we're going to do some crushed red pepper. Now when we're done baking this, we are going to make a sauce out of what is left. So all of these ingredients are going to just sit in the pan and cook up, get really nice flavor, and then we are going to make a sauce out of them. So it's just a really delicious recipe. Smelling really delicious in here. So we're just going to let this cook on the other side now for a couple more minutes. All right, we're going to take these out and repeat the process with our second batch. You can add a little more olive oil. And let me grab a knife. We're going to add a little bit more butter too. And then again, we're going to add all of our herbs. Okay, these are all done now, and I'm only going to remove them while we make our sauce. After we make the sauce, we're going to put them right back in the pan. Okay, so we're going to turn the stove back on to medium heat. We have all these lovely bits in our pan here. So what we're going to do is get this back up to temperature. We are going to add our onion and garlic and sun-dried tomatoes. Add a little bit more olive oil. I'm going to add our garlic. And next we're going to add our sun-dried tomatoes. Okay, our next step is going to add this chicken broth. You want to add about a cup to a cup and a half. I'm going to season with just a pinch more of our salt and pepper. I don't want to go too heavy on the salt and pepper because we are adding Parmesan cheese, and cheese has a lot of salt in it. Next up, I have dried basil and dill from my garden. Dill is not part of the original recipe, but if you know me, you know how much I love dill. We are going to add this. Alright, and next up is your heavy whipping cream. You can add about a cup and a half. Oh, it's just so beautiful. We're going to turn up the heat just a little bit more. You do not want to burn your cream. It'll get curdled and just have a different consistency than the one that you want. So you can bring up your heat just a little bit, but make sure you don't let it stand too long. Next, we're going to grate about a 1/3 cup of fresh Parmesan cheese. Turn it down just a bit now. The time has come to give it a little taste test. You want to make sure that you are always tasting your sauces before you add salt or anything to them. Make sure you try it first. It's really good. I do need a little bit more salt. I think that's going to be perfect. Now we're going to add our chicken back in. Oh, here it is. Let's get these pieces back in. Oh my goodness, friends. I mean, look at that. This dish is just amazing. First of all, we didn't use that many pots and pans to cook it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It shows perfectly for guests if you were to serve it right in the skillet, put it right on the table. Everybody will be absolutely amazed. If you have not tried this chicken, you have to. So for our final dish, we are going to cook up some linguine and just put this chicken right over the top. It's super simple. You just scoop it out, let all the beautiful sauces drip down into your linguine, and it is absolute perfection. In fact, I am going to try this right now. I cannot wait. Let me grab a little dish. Here we go. It's perfect. I'll just take one of these little tiny pieces. Okay. Ready for it? I'm gonna marry myself for making this. Friends, this is an absolute must. You have to try this recipe. Marry Me Chicken by Ina Garden. Absolute perfection. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you try this recipe, and please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know if you've tried this before, if your family loved it, and if I've reminded you just how good it is and you need to try it again. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time on Sheena's Homestead. Bye, my dears.